entire planet made better choices and solved out-of-this-world problems, like exactly how far is the moon and how do we get there?
Ignition sequence start.
We've been right there at the cutting edge of progress through the digital age, brought entire continents closer together, and pioneered research into renewables. Today, as digital progress causes industries and ideas to converge, we're connecting people, technology, and strategy to innovate faster, open new possibilities, and make a powerful difference for our clients, creating a better future for people everywhere. We've been at the forefront of technological progress for over 135 years. Imagine what kind of difference we can inspire tomorrow. Arthur D. Little.
So welcome everyone. Now I would like to invite Hiro to start the opening and present the
Alright, good morning everyone.
Good morning. Pagi.
My name is Hirotaka Uchida, a partner of ADL Southeast Asia and head of automotive and manufacturing sector in Southeast Asia. First of all, Indonesia is a strategic market for ADL Southeast Asia, and we always work hard to build our consulting service for the Indonesian economy, industry, and the people in this country. That's why we have analyzed this report on the current market situation and propose the recommendation to transform Indonesia's automotive industry into an EV and battery manufacturing hub. As you all watched our video, founded in 1886, Arthur D. Little is a world-first management consulting firm, linking strategic innovation and the transformation in commercial industries. AD operates almost 50 offices globally and serves most Fortune 1000 companies besides the leading firms and public sector organizations. In Southeast Asia, we have strong presence since 1984 and also in the Indonesian market. And automotive, and especially the transition to EVs, in global, we have been it's been a core topic for our client work for more than 10 years. Our team has worked on almost 200 e-mobility projects in global for renowned clients since 2012. We hope that the report that we will show you today will be useful to you and the Indonesian automotive market. Now, let me share our overview of global and Thailand Indonesian mobility. Okay. In our EV report in Indonesia, we take a pragmatic view of Indonesia's electric mobility potential as well as the readiness of 15 markets in terms of electric mobility potential. Now, I'd like to invite our global partner, Dr. Andreas, to introduce our global EV readiness study for us.
I apologize myself, but I have to speak in English to you. And I'm very happy to present to you today what we call the Global E-Mobility Readiness Index. The acronym is what you hear over and over again is GEMRIX, G-E-M-R-I-X, Global E-Mobility Readiness Index. As Hirotaka said, Arthur D. Little is working on the e-mobility topic. Since almost 15 years we have worked for any kind of company, automotive manufacturers, automotive suppliers, government agency, energy companies, all around the world. So we can say this is definitely a core topic of our work in the automotive industry for many years. And to assist executives and decision makers worldwide that deal with e-mobility in whatever organization. It can be in the industry, it can be in government, it can be in the public media, etc. We have developed a global readiness index which actually evaluates the readiness of different markets when it comes to electric vehicles. Electric vehicles, in our sense, is two-wheeler vehicles as well as four-wheeler vehicles, so cars and motorcycles, if you like. And in the current edition of the generics that I'm going to present to you today, we have actually evaluated 15 markets globally, and we are currently working on a new edition which will be launched later this year, where we have covered already 30 markets. And the breadth of markets makes this index actually the largest and most comprehensive index globally that is currently available in the industry. So it's a pretty unique index. We use, let's go to the next page. Actually, we used a standardized methodology to evaluate the markets for electric vehicles along 5 major categories that you can see here on the screen. Those categories actually are the main influencers of electric vehicle adoption in a given market. So we are talking about macro indicators, we are talking about the state of the electric vehicle market in a given country, the readiness and the willingness of customers to move to electric vehicles, public charging infrastructure, as well as TCO, which stands for total cost of ownership, and government regulation. And those 5 categories are broken down in over 50 indicators. For each of the categories, we have analyzed different data, and in total, the index is made up of 50 variables for a given market, which provides a unique wealth of information and insight per market. What you can see on the next page now is the result of the current index, where we have ranked the markets. So the markets in our logic are ranked in 4 different categories. You have the global benchmark countries, we have the so-called ambitious follower markets, the emerging EV markets, and the starters. Depending on the given score of a market, the markets are categorized in one of those categories. And the logic here is that a market that reaches 100 in the index is a market where, from a consumer point of view, driving an electric vehicle is equally beneficial to driving an internal combustion engine vehicle. And you see that there is only one market in the world today that has a score above 100, which is Norway. Norway scores 116. So in Norway, it is already today more beneficial for customers to drive an electric vehicle compared to a traditional combustion engine vehicle. There are no other markets at the moment that score 100. We have some markets that get close to 100. These are the ambitious followers, with China, Singapore, Germany, and the UK. And then you see that we have a range of markets that fall into the other categories. And looking at Indonesia, we see that Indonesia now has entered the top 10. Indonesia scores 43 in our index across the 5 categories, and thus is on 10th score for the sample of 15 markets. And I can already tell you that, you don't see it here, that also in the extended version of the index, when we have the 30 markets by the end of the year, Indonesia will likely score around the 10th place, because we already have the data, we just have to, let's say, write the report. So Indonesia is now entering exactly the group of emerging EV markets due to a lot of things that are happening in the market. Going to the next page, give you just some insights on the report. what we can see across all the markets is that subsidies, be it for vehicles, direct subsidies or indirect subsidies, but also subsidies for infrastructure development, charging infrastructure development, have proven highly effective in many markets to push the entire industry forward. And one very good example, for example, is Norway. Norway, as I said, is the highest scoring market, and they have from the very beginning subsidized the vehicles as well as infrastructure development. And that's one of the reasons why Norway has such a big advantage and is so much advanced in terms of vehicle adoption, electric vehicle adoption in the world. On the next page, you can see that we see a pattern across the different markets. So in all of the markets, there is a clear development, a clear shift towards electric vehicles, but it's some kind of time displays. Some are more advanced, some are more quicker, some are less quicker. In the starters, and we have different key drivers in each of the categories. In the starter markets, the cost of a vehicle, the cost of running the vehicle are still the most important driver. In the emerging markets, we also see that developing the EV ecosystem, so charging infrastructure, additional services, which makes, let's say, driving an electric vehicle more convenient, creating peace of mind for the customer, is the most important driver. And in the ambitious followers, we already see that we have reached a tipping point where the customer mindset is actually the key driver. So the customer mindset towards environmental friendliness, the regulation does not play a major role anymore because it is more advanced. Customers have already embraced electric vehicles, and a key driver in those markets is also the availability of models. So the variety, the customer choice when it comes to vehicle availability.